Yay! Just make sure everything is working, eh? Perfection!
Done.
Also, you got that, oh, the AT overlay thing up, but it's got the wrong ships. No worries, alright. Well, welcome, ladies and gents. This is just the Anger Games opens. It's going to be real chill and relaxed. We've got Turbofeed and Glory versus Fancypants at the moment. And everyone likes oracles, apparently. Everyone likes oracles. Gonna be a chill day. It's alive. Yep, it is alive, Greybill. Welcome, mate.
Doug, can you invite Murray to fleet?
Everything seems to be good. Yep, alright, cool. So we got Scorp, Double Osprey, Oneros, Mauler, Org Navy, and Magus. Then we have something entirely different, honestly, which is a Abaddon double Oracle. So they've gone for a big blocky Amarian ship, but they've gone Guardian instead of a Neros, which, okay, cool. And then RB Hyena. I'm confused. Where's the second Hyena? Why do I see two? Oh, well, doesn't matter. Yeah, gotcha. Fortunately, I can't look everything myself either, so I can't exactly see everything. So everyone's going for big battleship and battlecruiser killing DPS. We've done a few matches tests with oracles, and they're great for DPS, obviously. But if you don't have the support, they just suffer majorly. But if you can put the damage down, especially on these bigger ships and other oracles, actually, they're probably pretty good. All right, I think we're about to start soon. Just waiting for both teams to be ready. Hey, cheers.
Murray needs one too.
That's me. Yep, you got it.
Okay.
Alrighty. Is everyone? Both teams. Yep, both teams are ready. Beautiful. No, it's not just Imperium teams, Jalen. Alright, let me start in 30 seconds. So as said before, this is a Oracle heavy comps. This is obviously the Anger game opens, and I've done a few test matches. So, is it quiet? Is that just me being quiet? What if I turn my voice up? How does that work, Wonder? Does it sound louder now? Okay, I was wondering if it's just me. All right, 3, 2, 1, and we're off to the races. Let's see how this goes. Again, Oracles are very high DPS, pretty low tank. So we'll have to see how this starts. Curious who's going to take the damage first. There we go. And Oracle of Zarthol is going to be taking the punishment first. They focus him down. It should be a reasonably easy kill, but they do have a Neros support, so I'm not sure if an Neros can survive that much DPS, but I don't know. Guess it depends on your piloting, right, doesn't it? Thunderdome, negative, sir. CC. Well, Zarthol is holding. Okay, never mind. I am very much wrong. Can't see you being shot on the other side at the moment. Looks like are they actually going for the Abaddon, like, legitimately? Okay. No, looks like they're going for the Arbitrator. Yep, fair enough. Remove the tracking disruptors, which I'm willing to bet this guy has. I'm just having a look. Yep, tracking disruptors is almost definitely on that Arby, so he's probably making it really hard for them to shoot him. And the Arby's going to be holding on the Guardian reps, and the Oracle is holding under Oneros reps.
Og Navy of Blacklist is dropping hard, though.
Og Navy,
and it is down.
Wow, really? I
That'll be down from Fancypants there.
I legit didn't have him locked because I assumed that the Org Navy and the
damage is switched onto Lish now, the Oracle, and he is dropping extremely quickly.
Yeah, it's the joy of armor reps. It's at the end of the cycle, so reacting is a bit slower, but it looks like he's tried to react. Nope, doesn't matter. Blap, gone.
Yeah, when Fancypants moved into conflag multi-range. They definitely didn't have the reps to tank it for sure.
Yep. Yeah.
We'll see if they try and adjust.
That RB is going to be a nightmare. Tracking, disrupting, and obviously the more ships you lose, the harder that is to deal with. The Scorpion's a weird call. I wonder if he's almost definitely been ECMing this entire time. I wonder how effective that's been, if at all. Don't know. Looks like they're trying to shoot a Magus at the moment. Is that shooting or drones? No, that is shooting. There's no drones on him. I'm actually surprised they're managing to hit him. I guess the Hyena really does give that much extra support. And for those in chat who are asking about why things look a bit wrong, the overlay you're seeing there is not correct. Don't worry about it. Just look at the very top of the screen. You can see the ships there. And looks like they're going to try and go for the nearest now. I'm kind of surprised they even bothered, to be honest. They could probably just kill the next Oracle without caring.
They haven't lost anything yet.
Yeah, I kind of expected it to be a bit more of a trade, but turns out they're just able to rush through. G'day, Astrophobically. How you doing, mate? I actually am curious if the Scorpion did really, like, I wonder how many jams he actually landed in this scenario, because it didn't seem to slow their team down really at all. So I'm wondering if he even got a single jam off. Oh, well, this is going to be pretty one-sided at this point. They can't break through these ships, and they've only got an Oracle left for DPS, a Mauler with probably doesn't even have guns, and a Scorpion that's mostly just there for the ECM support.
Yeah, this should be a pretty short order cleanup, and Turbo will take this one pretty comfortably.
Yeah, Oracle versus Oracle Fire is not exactly what I saw. They brought support Hyenas with their Oracles, which means they could actually apply, which is something I've seen a lot of in a few practices, where you bring like unsupported Oracles and expect them to work. Even against cruisers or battle cruisers, they don't do all that well. So you need to support them, and 2 Hyenas is a lot of support. That's actually a ridiculous amount. The amount of paints and webs you get out of that is actually ridiculous. And the best thing about it is
especially once you consider that those are both going to be armor Hyenas, right? Which means they've got plenty of space for both a web and a paint, and then one more of either, depending on how they feel.
Whatever they want to jam there. That's actually quite interesting. I've seen a bunch of like top heavy comps. Seems to be pretty much the way to go. And yeah, that's 2 Hyenas, like making use of what little points you got left to do something really effective. I like you. I believe the Scorpion was armor fit with ECM in the mids because he was with an armor comp. So that Scorpion, I don't know. Obviously jams can be really good, but he didn't seem to do all that well.
It was hard to tell what he was trying to jam. I think at some point he was trying to deal with Logi, but it didn't seem particularly successful. So there's a possibility also, with the extra utility mids that they have available, that Turbo had remote SIBOs or something of that sort as well, supporting their logistics, which would have made it much more difficult for the Scorpion.
Also, the tracking disrupting of that Arbitrator is almost perfect for this scenario as well. Like large gun Oracles trying to shoot against a ship that's tracking disrupting them. Sorry. Tingle here, that hurt. Just couldn't apply. Didn't matter about jams, etc. Fair enough. I understand that. So yep, you couldn't apply damage. Fair enough. Chat dealing with it. Mistakes. Hello, hello, hello. Are we back? Nerds. All right, perfect. We're back. All right, sweet. So yeah, I'll start from scratch just so you guys know where the hell we're at. So the next match is Wolves Among Strangers versus Spectre Fleet. I was talking about the bands before, but you didn't hear it, so I'm going to say it again. This time faster and with more energy, all right? So we've got Wolves Among Strangers banning out Abaddon, Gila, Ishtar. The Gila is one of those ships I expect to see all the time, if not either banned or used. Abaddon for heavy laser boat, Ishtar because, I don't know, screw drones. And Spectre Fleet banned out a mixture of stuff, actually. It banned out Sleipnir, Onuris, Hyena, so that's a bit of a widespread. Obviously not trying to ban out a single comp, but they're banning out, trying to ban out a series of comps. And you were saying something before I cut you in because no one could hear you, Mary.
True. Yeah, so one of the things I was talking about with these bans, right, is it's hard to say, especially this early on, which of these bans are people have kind of figured out what they don't want to deal with or what's particularly strong and what they're kind of just testing out from the last AT, right? Because even with the rule differences, 7 ships instead of 10, and the meta changes that have happened with battleships, with resistances, all of that, right? Some of these bans may still just be, we know the Gil and the Sleipnir were super strong in the last AT, and so while we're figuring out the meta, we're going to ban those out so we can try out some different things.
I can't really remember. Just double check with you guys. Was the Gila extra points last year for the Anger Games? Was that just my imagination?
No, it was
not. Oh, just my imagination then. All right then. Well, yes, Gila is ridiculous. I don't despise Gila. But yeah.
In any case, we've got the teams warping into the arena now. They're starting to get set up.
Interesting setups. I'm not going to give it away just yet until everyone's ready on the back end. But yeah, this is going to be interesting. This is almost like one comp's almost the exact counter, and I'm very happy they did. This is not something I actually expected to see, so bravo to them. There's a lot of frigates on grid.
Yep.
All right, we're going to be switching in a sec. And alrighty then, we've got a Blaster Rush Hype Fleet with assorted frigates and a Curse. Ouch. And then on the other side, we've got a double Paladin setup. So double Paladin versus a Blaster Rush with a Curse. Ow.
The very unusual thing here is the Paladins actually warped in at separate ranges, which I suspect is because they're looking to get a setup where at least one of those Paladins, if they haven't just messed up, is that they want at least one of those Paladins able to apply to whatever small stuff is sitting near the other Paladin.
We saw something kind of similar, but not at the start of a match from, I think it was Tuskers a year or two back, where they actually split their Abaddons away so they could shoot at the guys tackling the other Abaddon, which was a great mix. But yeah, I'm with Jell in Discord and in Twitch chat. 2 Hyperion plus Curse is a very, that is just a balls deep setup. That's just absolute send mode. And it's actually the perfect counter as far as I'm concerned for a double Paladin setup. Because they're going to be capped out and tracking disrupted and rushed down by blasters. That is just not a good day. Not a good day. All right, we've got 30 seconds till start, so other ships on the grid as well. We've got some interesting spreads of stuff. Unfortunately, it's going to be hard for me to say them all correctly, but double Paladin, Ponti, double Deacon? No, Deacon Thalia.
Yeah.
Right.
I think the important thing is these setups are actually super similar. You've got double Frigg Logi from each side. You've got a single Trig Destroyer. One's a Draugr, one's a Kikimora. You've got a little bit of smaller support. And then the main difference really is that Curse, which they can field because the hypes are cheaper.
Guarantee hypes immediately tackle that Paladin. Yep, they do instantly, and they're going straight for it. I'm just watching the damage. I'm curious.
Yeah, heavy damage is straight on that Paladin. There's also a little bit of damage on the Thalia of Hill, but it looks like that damage pretty quickly switched back over to the Paladin.
The interesting thing as well is that the Thalia and the Deacon for the Hyperion team doesn't really matter that much. I mean, sure, it'll save your Curse, but it won't save your other stuff. Actually, the Paladin is holding against the hypes. Interesting.
The Thalia burned way out of range of his Logi partner, and now he's dropping because he just doesn't have the ability to get reps.
Indeed. I'm just kind of trying to... Fortunately, I can't look everything up, so I'm missing bits of information, which is actually quite annoying right now. But that Paladin is holding. I suspect that might be because of an ancillary armor wrapper and is reactive. But I honestly thought that two hypes at point blank would just rip him to shreds, but that's not happening. I wonder if he's just a full brick fit.
Keep in mind, he's got the extra resist from the hull. He's got the extra resist from the recent surgical strike change. So he's got some extra things going there. Meanwhile, on the other side, you've got damage split between the Curse of Ninke and the Vengeance of Ned. But right now, both seem to be holding pretty comfortably.
I'm actually surprised, legitimately. We've seen Paladins been like ripped through armor before by some like damage like this, but they're not going too well. Whereas the Curse is starting to go into half armor, and one of the Thalias on the Paladin team almost got sniped there.
Yeah, the Thalia's been bouncing back and forth, but they've so far managed to keep him up. That said, it is getting real dire, and he's
there
gone.
There it goes. All right. That's going to be a good chunk of reps for the Paladin down. I'm curious what this Paladin's fit is. He might be like a full tank fit. The Curse is still alive, and he's trying his best. He's sitting at half armor. I'm trying to see where his Logi bros are. Where are they? They're right on top of him. Perfect. Though he has been tackled down hard by a Pontifex.
Yeah, and so the second Logi ship for Wolves Among Strangers is now being run down. The Deacon, he's dropping into low armor, and I suspect he is not long for this world, as both Hyperions are nuding and firing on him. He drops.
As for the question about if the Paladins are kiting the Hyperions, negative. One of them is hard tackled by both Hyperions, the other one is just chilling at range trying to do stuff. So the Paladin of Kori-Itsu has just been tanking these hypes this entire time, which is actually kind of ridiculous. I think the hypes might have switched over to the Logi Frig and dunked that and then switched back over.
Yep, they've cleared both Logi frigates, and now they're looking at the Kikimora, which is about to disappear.
Yep.
And we now will probably see them either clear up the rest of the support, although there's not much of it, to be honest, or switch straight back onto the Paladin. Looks like they've chosen the Paladin of Kori-Itsu.
I'm surprised that Kikimora was inside scram range, or at least inside, easy grapple range of two Hyperions. I mean, that was going to happen. They're just going to go, oh, well, look at that, blap, and continue what they were doing. But you look at the hype of Gaming 513 Tyler. He's just tanking.
Yeah, he doesn't have Logi anymore, and those two Paladins are going to hurt.
Yeah, Hyperion has some absolutely sexy reps, and I think some Logi drones will arrive soon. Just checking. Yep, they're already there. I see any light ones, though, and some mediums.
Yeah, unfortunately, Paladins do not have large drone bays. As a side note, the Vigil Fleet issue is also dead. He got snapped by the support. That's -1 Paladin. And with one Paladin down, it looks like Gaming 513 might be able to hold. At the very least, until his Ansel runs out.
Definitely, yeah. At least till the Ansel. But the other Paladin's now being primaried as well. And he still has his Logi Bros as well for the Hyperion, so I suspect he's just going to hold.
The last support ship for that last remaining Paladin, the Pontifex, is also not long for this world, so it looks like it's pretty comfortably over to Spectre Fleet at this point. That is who it is, right?
Yep.
Yes, Spectre Fleet.
Paladin is jumping out. Paladin wants to leave, but I think is he scrammed, or is he just... No, he wasn't scrammed, and he's at 129. That should be out of the arena, right? No, Paladin's out of the ring, so done. Bravo. That was actually pretty good. I love the rush there. Actually, it took a bit longer to break things than I expected. I honestly thought they should just rush through that first Paladin, but I guess he just tanked. I'm actually curious what his fit was.
That's another clean sweep as well. All 7 ships still alive for Spectre Fleet.
Just asking, hold on. GG Boundary, yep, exactly that. But yeah, rush comp with a curse for the support. I like the idea. I think that if it was versing a good range DPS comp, like for instance, a bad and double Oracle, they'd probably break through the curse. Even though yes, it does track and disrupt them, it's still a curse, and they've got 3 ships to do the damage. But yeah.
Yeah, I think one of the interesting things about the 7-ship format, right, is logistics, by and large, you have about the same amount available as you did in the AT. You have either your 2 Logi Frigs or your single Logi Cruiser, but you've only got 7 ships to work with in terms of attacking. So there's not as much damage on field, which means you need to be a bit smarter about how you're bringing control, newts, or how you're looking to break through that Logi and get that edge so you can snowball the match.
Yeah, so the 7-man format does trend towards heavier ships rather than, at least as far as I remember, it was tends to be like heavier cores. Actually, now I'm thinking about it, now I'm remembering people doing drone comps. I think I might be entirely wrong there, actually.
Well, I mean, drone comps by themselves, right, are something that is usually very typically designed to kill Logi. So being more creative about how you're taking out that Logi, that fits into that, right? Because with a drone comp, you're almost always shooting Logi first, because you can send your drones after logistics wherever they are. You can almost always get those drones to apply, and you can kite pretty much wherever you want while doing it. So you usually have a pretty good amount of time to take out those logistic ships.
I think a better way of looking at it is you're probably going for the linchpin, not just logistics. If the linchpin, for instance, might be a hyena or something, you send like a bunch of light drones and just nuke it and then continue on with your life. It tends to be you pick up the ship that you think will actually affect your match. Hey, look, it's my team. Hi, guys. This Drago was crazy good. How was it, man? I'm curious because I don't think we've seen many Dragos in tournament formats.
Yeah, especially, I can't speak too much to tournaments prior, but I know in the last tournament, you very rarely, if ever, saw a Draugr because it was very expensive. And it was very hard to justify the additional points over just a different command destroyer if you wanted links, or a different ship if you just wanted damage, right? And even for the mix of the two, it was very expensive.
Sounds like Rain went on a bit of a warpath there in that Drago, killing off top damage on the Thalia, Deacon, Vigil Fleer, and Pontifex. So he's just having a great time.
Yeah, for sure. It's the kind of ship where if somebody leaves you alone, you can definitely be a menace.
Yeah, I do agree with Mentorship said they're good point efficient for terms of links, DPS, and mobility, because the DPS that Drago gives is better than any other command destroyer. Alright, so next match, let me just make sure I've got this up, is my team, actually, Ramrod Relulded, versus only need 2 comps. Okay, that's their name. Okay, I think it's going to be Curse or Comp.
Yep.
Ramrod banned out Curse, Oracle, Leshak, and only need 2 comps to banned out Bark, Abaddon, Blackbird. Kind of a scatter of bans for all of them, picking off specific ships or comps they don't want to see. Curse ban, I expect we're going to see a lot of those. Blackbird ban, probably the same. Oracle bans are going to be a blanket ban, I suspect. So it's, a lot of blanket, just remove this one ship bans.
Yeah, for sure. It looks like starting to see a couple more in terms of the heavier battleship bans as well. They seem to be a consistent theme so far. The Abaddon and Bargas we've both seen a couple of times at this point.
Alrighty. I think people are just warping into the grid now, and I am very proud of my team. Yep, very, very proud. They might lose this. I don't care. I'm proud of them. They have pulled their balls out of their purse. I love seeing people warping out at 0. Right, we should be alright to switch over, yes? No? Alrighty then. I'm actually loving both these comps now I think about it. These are both comps that are definitely after my heart right now. I also like seeing the discussion in Twitch chat, by the way, about the Draugr and other command destroyers. Good on you guys. I love seeing that stuff. I'd say keep it civil, but Reeve players are not very good at doing that.
Because Radako's team isn't in any corp at all.
Yeah. Very interesting. So we actually, I guess, are we talking about grid yet? We haven't switched. No, we're switching now. Perfect. Well, we've got our first shield comp of the day with
standard Nighthawk Rush.
With Nighthawk, Loki, and a couple other rush ships. So looking for some high in the face DPS. On the other side, you've got a pretty close in comp as well, but they've got some more control in there. They've got the Hyperion with newts. They've got the Balgorn, obviously, with some newts as well. And then you've got the Og Navy as well, which can go in. One interesting thing is that they're fielding a Rodiva, and this team, they have a different name than they had in the AT prior, but they were one of the few teams that actually tried to field the Rodiva in the Alliance tournament there as well. So I think it's one of their favorite ships.
I think gotta have an unappreciated ship here and there. I'm glad it's not a Zarmet. I hate that ship, but yeah, this is gonna be interesting. It's gonna be Nighthawk Rush. This is pretty well known. I mean, if you don't know this comp, I don't think you've watched the tournament yet, because this has been one of the predominant comps for the last year or so. It does tend to struggle with application. That's what the Loki is there for. But however, they're versing the Hyperion and Balgorn. They don't care about application right now. They're going to go straight in, I suspect.
Yeah, one of the main things is that the comp they're fielded up against, only 2 comps, they've managed to spread themselves out in their warpins. So in order to get to anything smaller, they have to try and walk through that Hyperion and Balgorn. So if those Hyperion and Balgorn, they can catch some of those ships, they can try and hold them down and prevent them from getting to the smaller stuff.
And the match is underway now. Beautiful. Let's see what they go for. Are they going straight for it? Yep, I see the Swipple just sending it straight into the Hyperion. I don't think you need to do that. I think the Nighthawks would have gotten the tackle, but that's fine. Looks like
Yeah, looks
Radicos
like
and
they're
Loki is
piling.
primary.
They're piling all DPS on the Hype. Meanwhile, DPS from the other side is going on to Radicos and the Loki.
So the Loki is the linchpin for this comp in a medium to long-term fight because he is their only real support ship. Sure, you've got Tackle and the Swipple, but he doesn't provide the long webs that Loki does. So they're going for the Loki. Meanwhile, the Hyperion, he is being pounded, but doing what Hyperions do, tanking for his life.
Yeah, and as long as he
should go
can
down.
tank for a little bit, that Zarm is going to keep, Diva is going to keep spooling. And once those reps are spooled up, that's a lot of repping power on grid. Meanwhile, Radicos already almost dead. He's running out of shields pretty rapidly, and a burst just got snapped as well, so he has even less Logi to support him.
Yep, so Radicos will go down soon, but that Hyperion is still holding.
Oh, Radicos is down, but will the Hyperion drop, or have they lost enough DPS?
Unless the ancillary shield booster runs out, that shield booster armor booster runs out, it's done. Unless that auxiliary runs out, they can't break it anymore.
Meanwhile, on the other side, the Bantam is also down as well, so our shield comp is now out of logistics.
And yeah, GG. We want to call that one really early, actually. That's GG right there. What the hell, mate?
I think the Hyperion has broken, but he died anyway. That was weird.
He said he had negative 19% armor on the Hyperion.
That's illegal. All right, well, the Hyperion is dead. The Balgorn is starting to drop. Meanwhile, you've got the Nighthawk of December, who's in about 1/3 shields, and KGZ in the Swipple is also taking a fair bit of damage at this point.
Yep, so they're going to go for the Baal next. I'm not a big fan of that, but I do get why. They should probably go for something that brings actual DPS.
Yeah, I think their main issue is that Balgorn has at least one of those heavy DPS ships held down, right? So if they try and go for somebody else, they're going to be missing damage.
It's like, yeah, they'll probably go for the Baal.
December and the Nighthawk now in armor. And so once this Nighthawk is down, unless they can get on top of that Rediva, they're not going to be able to find any kills amongst the heavy things.
Unfortunately not. No, my team! My team! Something did actually get to the Rediva. Who is shooting the Rediva right now?
Looks like it may be Gila drones.
Okay.
Yeah, yep, it's the Gila drones chasing the Rediva. But with the Nighthawk down, they're really going to struggle to find anything else to kill.
Yeah, well, that's unfortunate. They tried their rush, but the Hyperion just held for too long, unfortunately. Curious.
Oh, looks like they'll kill the Tyrannus. Oh, nope.
Yeah, I mean...
And he's right back up.
He shouldn't have said anything.
Hey, he's already in structure. It's a juicy target.
And as for the person asking in chat, this is not a tournament, this is the opens for a tournament. So this is more about just a practice day, both for the guys and for us. So this is, yeah, Anger Games. I don't know what year this is for Anger Games, but doesn't matter. Good fun. 7v7 tournaments. Hell, even I'm in a team. It's great. Tyrannus is an awesome ship for this format. Get out of here, Jalen. That's a lie. Shoo. The only good tackle ship is a Punisher.
That's why we made the Punisher more expensive.
Bloody Smugger still in the background just telling me off.
Where's Skybreaker?
Oh, true. Polarized claw in the option. Okay, Eve mentioned it has my heart. That's great. Yep. So yeah, no, that's the standard Nighthawk Rush comp. That's something we all know. Everyone kind of understands how it works and how to break it and how to beat it. But you can, it's still strong enough that you can win with it. It's not like it's they know they can't beat it. It's like having a Mimitai Rush. You know what's coming. Doesn't mean you can stop it. But unfortunately, it does have one generalized weakness as far as I've seen, which is that the Loki is the thing you kill. If you kill the Loki, they suffer.
Alright, well, at least we had our first slightly less one-sided match of the day. At least one ship died on the other side this time. We'll get there.
Yep, someday. Alright, well, let's chill out till the next match, boys. That one was pretty quick. I'm not pronouncing this next team's name. Whoever named this, I hate you.
Do you want me to tell you how
according
to pronounce it?
According to...
do better. Have you pronounce it for us all, Soth? Please. Explain this name.
In German, it's Magnetschienengeschütz, but you can call them German railgun team.
I can call them assholes for that fucking name, but we'll go with that. German railgun team versus Snuffed Out, actually. So I'm actually glad for once Snuff can beat on someone that I should be happy they beat on. Sorry. So the Magnet bloody railgun, whatever the hell the name is, team banned out Lashak, Balgon, Gila. So banning out just 3 strong ships. The Balgon ban, I'm not the biggest fan of. Maybe they know something I don't. Snuffed Out banned Cursed, Loki, Onyx.
Yeah,
Huh.
I think the Snuffed Out bans are a little more telling. They're banning out ships that look to control at range, right? The Curse with its long newts, TDs, GDs, Loki with long webs, the Onyx with those hit points. There's certain things they don't want to see into whatever they're bringing.
Weirdly, I kind of see them attempting to ban out the Nighthawk Shield Rush as well, but that's probably not their intention. But the way you could ban out that rush is you ban Loki and Onyx or a Broadsword. But obviously they've not done that. They've banned out, long range, heavy tackle. And then the Curse, because a Curse is bullshit. It's a ridiculous ship. High skill ceiling, which means anyone who knows how to fly it well can do a lot of damage, which is why Snuffed isn't flying it. Sorry,
Toxic.
I'm messing. But yeah, so that's honestly a lot of these bands seem pretty like normal bands. Nothing like nothing really stands out as like, why are they banning that? Oh my god, it's pretty generalized bands. Banning control ships means they're trying a kiting comp. They haven't banned out Hyena, which is pretty good for that, which means they could be trying a kiting comp.
Yeah,
But
I think particularly with Snuffed Out, I would suspect that they're either looking to kite or they're looking to get a comp together where they want to be at 0 and they don't want to be stiff armed. They don't want some of their DPS held 20, 30, 40 kilometers off. They want to be able to get everybody in on top of whatever they're shooting.
I will admit, the Loki's not the one. Not Loki, sorry. The Onyx is not the one I expected to see there, but I guess I get the idea. But a Broadsword can do the job reasonably as well, but with more damage.
Yeah, for sure. Broadsword is a strong ship. Typically speaking, you'll see somebody either go for those two or they'll go for the combo of like Sleipnir and Nighthawk if they're looking to ban out something like the Rush. But that's why I suspect they're looking more towards the control aspect.
I like also, I'm looking at the chat and Twitch as well. People like talking about different stuff. I love seeing that. So one person saying kiting comps in general don't have enough DPS to break battleships in a 7-man format. Yes and no. Like, straight away they'll take time to kill a battleship, but with enough time, at some point an ancillary armor upper will run out. But as Eve Mentorship has also said, you don't need to kill the battleships in a kiting comp. You just need to kill something and then not lose a ship.
I gotta say though, I am surprised how fast these matches are over.
Yeah, I can kind of get what you mean for sure. Things just seem to just like devolve into mass carnage real quickly. Then again, this is the second time we've seen someone warp in at 0, and I'm so happy for it.
Dirk, we're ready when you are.
Exactly that.
Yeah, we've got some Triglavian enthusiasts with a on-grid as well as some heavy armor, which seems to be the theme for the day.
Indeed. And yeah, Triglavian enthusiasts from both sides. We've got one of my least favorite ships and a ship that's also actually one of my least favorites for entirely different reasons. So yay for that. Whoop. Hey. Alright, and now we're in. Beautiful. And these comps are a little scattered. We've got a double APOC Navy setup.
Yeah, double Navpoc, Oracle Vigil Purifier. They're looking to project big damage downrange with a bit of application. Meanwhile, on the other side, you've got PFI, Og Navy, Ikitursa Corps. They're looking to get in close, put heavy damage on single target, and just grind them out.
Yeah, unfortunately, quickly fix some stuff, unfortunately. You don't know about shit. Yeah, I'm just looking at stuff, unfortunately. But yeah, this is double APOC Navy. I'm curious the reasoning. Obviously, they might know something I do not there. Because don't forget, if you bring two of the same ship, the points do go up by 1 per ship.
Yeah. For some
That's-
reason, they think that second APOC Navy is worth it than the extra points they would get by downgrading one of them to either a regular APOC or an Abaddon. But the match has started, and we see Snuffed Out burning in hard to go for those NavPocs.
Interesting thing as well is the Punisher of Aaron Tian actually started at near 0 next to the ships, and instead of tackling, he did the more smarter thing of running for his life. He just sprinted across the arena, just wanting no part of this.
Yeah, he backed up initially, but now looks like he's keeping an eye to try and screen as necessary. So
Yep,
far, he got a bit
Blackbird's
of damage onto the Zarm, which is kiting far enough back that he's pretty comfortable. Looks like something just dropped that I don't have locked.
Blackbird went down. That's going to be quite annoying, actually, losing their ECM. But the Tempest fleet I love the Tempest fleet for this. It is fast as hell. It's just screaming in. And the good thing is they get apply a good range as well. So this looks like.
Well, the TFI just got stiff-armed by the Punisher, so they're going to have to try and either deal with that Punisher or somehow get around him via newts. Looks like they're going for the latter option, as they finally managed to get tackle on the NavPoc of Maristia.
Exactly. The Vengeance is currently on the NavPoc, which means the Tempest can actually just shoot him where he is. They don't get Tempest can shoot up to like 50 to 70k, so no worries. I can't unfortunately see the damage. It looks like the NavPoc is getting pummeled, and a Maul on the other side is also getting pummeled.
Yep. The Mauler, of course, he has the benefit of that Zarm, so as long as he can survive for a little while, he should be pretty comfortable, and it looks like that is going to be the case. The NavPoc, meanwhile, on the other side, dropping much slower, but he only has access to reps from an Augurer, and that Augurer can potentially get run down, neuted out.
I'm actually curious. There's currently a Vengeance tackling that NavPoc, and I see a bunch of rep drones. Is the Vengeance shooting the NavPoc, or is he shooting the drones? Let's have a look. He's shooting the NavPoc. I'm not gonna lie, I don't like that part. I would rather just delete these rep drones and get more DPS effectively. But
yeah, that's something you'll typically see, but so far he's still dying, so I can't be too mad at him.
Yeah, true. Victory just means you were right?
Exactly.
And people talk about the boundary's at 125, so no one's at the boundary yet. The Oracle of Genik is still like 20k away, so he's all good. NavPoc of Maristia, though, is about to go into Hull.
Yeah, and with the Mauler holding, it looks like they're switching over to the Ikitursa. And the Ikitursa is dropping much quicker. It doesn't have as much armor HP, but it probably has that ADC to give it a little more time. And that Zarm is going to have to try and switch over as quickly as possible.
Yep, so Ikitursa did pulse his ADC. Hopefully the APOC Navy can maybe shoot him before he dies, but APOC Navy's about to go down. Pop. And I think Ikitursa will hold now. It's got enough time for the Zarm to hold it. Look at the wave of rep drones too, just going everywhere. I love this.
Meanwhile, damage is switching over to the Augurer, and it looks like that Augurer is not going to be too long for this world. He does not have much support, and all that heavy damage is rapidly closing in on him.
Unfortunate for him, yeah. I haven't seen many Aug picks. I'm not the biggest fan of them. It kind of doesn't do enough to be worth it, in my opinion. At least the Road Diva is a kind of an interesting pick.
So typically the Augurer, or that kind of T1 Logi in general, is something you need when you're not too worried about needing logistics for the long term. You've got a comp that just wants to go in, smash face, you want to invest more points into that damage, right? Then the Aug makes sense because it'll give you some reps until it dies, but it's not eating too many points. In this case, though, they're going for a projection-based comp, where typically you want some logistics that can keep you alive for a little longer, give you time to switch targets, and do things like that.
I actually like watching them try to split the damage around, trying to pick things off, trying to do something. You see they're going for the Tempest Fleet now all of a sudden. That's just, I don't see that working in a million years. Tempest Fleet can be really tanky, especially on the Zarm.
Yeah, unfortunately, they're kind of struggling for targets, right? There's nothing really good to shoot. The Vengeance, smaller, Aug Navy, none of that's going to work, and the Zarm is 80 kilometers away. So how are they going to get to it when they're all tackled?
Actually, the Zarm is within 20 of the APOC Navy. Don't forget, it's 8 kilometers from us.
He actually staying on top of them?
Yeah, he's not
on
top,
is.
But he's within range.
I see he's decided that he is perfectly safe at this point.
The thing as well is that they kind of want him to shoot the Zarm. If they did, that'd be a good thing, because the Zarm is one of the tankiest Logis around, full stop. So if you shoot the Zarm, great. We'll just throw Logi drones onto the Zarm and he'll survive for like 3 minutes. At which point they've then pulled apart this comp's DPS. Just give me a second, just shit talking in a Twitch chat. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing else to say there. The Oracle, he did manage to stay away for a long time. No one went off and tackled and killed him earlier, which is something I normally expect to happen, but I guess he just played for massive distance. Sorry, I'm just enjoying chat right now. But yeah, Oracle's gonna go down. Bomber went down. I don't think the Bomber did much at all, really. I think what their initial primary was. Oh, well, it doesn't really matter anyway.
Yeah, it's a pretty comfortable cleanup at this point. Just picking off the last few ships as the match winds down.
Yep, exactly that. So just everyone just relax, grab your drinks, enjoy.
Yeah, it was interesting. The application at range worked fine at the start to pick off that Blackbird, but unfortunately they weren't really able to screen or kind of split up the DPS coming in on top of them, and then they unfortunately just weren't able to burn anything down because they really didn't have any great targets after that Blackbird.
So I get that, like, the start of the match, the Punisher was right next to the Tempest and ran away because he wanted to obviously tackle for later. But in that situation, I think it might have been better for him to just straight up tackle the Tempest fleet and just buy time, because that comp, the Epoch Navies do well at range. So they could have just sat there shooting for maybe, I don't know, 30 seconds to a minute longer without any retribution. Not this retribution, what's the word? Retaliation, that's it. Oracle comps seem weak until they apply damage, and then they're not. Then they're really not. But I actually have mentioned that to some people as well, that I don't like the Oracle too much. Like, sure, DPS is lovely, DPS is great, but the Oracle doesn't have much beyond that. The Oracle, beautiful. But yeah, the Oracle is just DPS. It is nothing else. Whereas, if you bring something else, it has tank, maybe have links. You have a bit more options for those ships. The Oracle is a one-trick pony, but it is a pretty damn good fucking trick.
Yeah, and especially in a 7-ship comp where you're really trying to figure out where you can squeeze in DPS, the Oracle is a super tempting option because it's got massive damage. And as long as you think you can keep it alive, it's something that's incredibly powerful.
Exactly that. Yep. It's if you can get it to work, like we saw the team, I think, bring, was it double Hyena with their oracles, and that brought enough application to make the oracles shine. If you can help it apply as much as possible, it just becomes god tier. But before that, it's like bringing in Artie Sleipnir without the support to back it up, right? It's sure, it's a great ship. Sure, it's pretty fast. It has great one shot capabilities. But if you can't apply anything, you've just brought a very expensive paperweight.
Yeah, and it depends on what the other team's bringing too, right? Like I said, the match we just watched, outside of that Blackbird, there weren't really any good targets. Everything was either very heavily tanked, and it's not going to die in a short amount of time, so the Zarm has time to spool on it, or it's the Zarm and it can sit almost 70 kilometers away, meaning that you're not actually applying all that much damage. And so once they killed that Blackbird, they didn't really have any great targets to go for, even with having the Vigil for that extra application.
Yep, and switching only does so much. Unfortunately, when you've got ships like Tempest fleets with massive armor buffers, Ikatursa with their ADC, it's really hard to switch on something and kill it in time.
For sure.
Unfortunately, it's like these long-range DPS comps, they're pretty nice, but a Zarm is, I wouldn't say a hard counter, but it amps up how hard it is for you to do this comp, to execute your role. Alrighty, well, next one coming up will be Turbofeed or Glory, and they'll be versing Spectre Fleet. And the bans, they both banned Paladin first. Apparently both sides said, F the Paladin, we don't like Amarian brick lasers, go away. Turbofeed then banned Rattlesnake, Barghest, Oracle, so they got rid of the Oracle we're talking about, so we can't see how it goes this time. The Barg's been pretty consistent ban, people don't like their pancakes. But Spectre Fleet banned out Loki, Abaddon, Hugin. What?
Yeah, that double web ban is definitely something to keep an eye on, right? There's something they don't want to see there. Other than that, though, both of these teams, just a ton of top-down bans, right? Top-heavy bans. Get rid of the Paladin, the Abaddon, the Rattlesnake. Any of those things where you can see 2, maybe 3 battleships just sitting in the middle of the arena pounding you down. They don't want to deal with that.
Exactly that.
Also, both of these teams, I believe, are 1-0 on the day. So we'll see which one of them gets to go 2-0.
Wait, Spectre Fleet won? Did Spectre Fleet actually win their match?
Was it Wolves or Spectre? I think it was Spectre
sorry.
who came out ahead.
I just never expect Spectre Fleet to win something. I love those guys too, to be honest.
Yeah.
Quick notice to Dirk that your monitor is burning away.
Ooh.
Oh, the joy of technical difficulties. Don't worry, we've all done that one before, Dirk. Like, why is he 150k away? Oh, that was me. Alrighty, well, looks like they're about to... Are they on grid? Oh, they're kind of on grid already. Cool. Yeah, and remember I was talking about Sleipnirs a moment ago, right? Yeah, we've got them. So, yay! And here's the best thing. Both sides brought them. Double
Shield
up the
on
fun.
shield action, but both teams warped pretty much everybody at 50, so it looks like we're getting some good old classic from last AT, shield kite versus shield kite.
And here's the fun thing, right? Let's just double check this which team this is. Turbofeed Glory brought autocannon slip. The other team brought artillery slip. So this is going to be very interesting. RT slips versus auto slips. I don't know how many slips there even are, actually. I should probably start looking things up. It does tend to help. But they brought Sleipnir Nighthawk. I'm not the biggest fan of that, to be honest. The Nighthawk does not roll the same area as the Sleipnir does. Especially because it's the arty slip that is with the Nighthawk. That is an arty slip, right? Am I crazy? It's got the double barrel. Look like very chode barrels there.
Well, the Spectre fleet comp, that's much more in line with some kind of fly killer, right? They're looking to snap small things from range for sure.
Yep, start will be in 30 seconds. I'm just having a look around.
The other interesting choice is Turbo brought 3 Gilas, which means they really racked up the points bringing those.
Oh, Jesus. Did they actually bring 3?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Oh, gee. That is so much points in Gila.
All right, match is started.
Yep. And see the frigate pilots, knowing there's an early slip, they immediately burned off at an angle to not get shot. Well flown by you guys. You know exactly what's going on there. Scimitar's pulling back. The Gilas are doing Gila things, I guess.
Yeah, so far both teams mostly pulling back, which is a bit of an interesting choice, especially considering that one Sleipnir is actually autocannon fit, so he is doing absolutely nothing at this range.
Yeah, not entirely sure. I guess they're just playing for time at the moment, but I'm actually not quite sure what they're going for just yet.
They haven't sent the Gila drones across the arena. That's one potential option, right? They can sling those Gila drones across, try and snap some small things, and then see what they can do from there. Right now, it looks like the Gilas are trying to get in drone control range in order to do just that.
Yep, put it on drones, then you run for your life. And Gilas, like, the thing is, Gilas, they're really tanky. Did I just see? Hold on. Okay, so never mind. Someone's firing fireworks. I was like, wait a minute. Sorry, someone's firing fireworks for some reason. Alright, looks like a jackdaw.
Been distracted by bright lights.
It's a shiny thing. I can't help it. It looks like a jackdaw of Starlight is currently getting a bit of damage put onto him, but I mean, he's got a scimitar. It's not going to matter for a while. Now, what they could try and do for that to get that jackdaw, if he switches over to sharpshooter to try and get some cheeky damage, which I think he's actually currently in, he should be easier to hit, but apparently it doesn't matter. Apparently it doesn't make a difference. He's in sharpshooter mode and can still not get killed. Fair enough.
Yeah, it looks like in the meantime, the Spectre fleet are more than happy to just try and take pot shots at some of the smaller things on grid. So one of the Molluses is looking a little spicy, but otherwise he's holding up fine for now.
Oh, that actually, they kind of read the opposing team now. Think about it. Because think about that, the other team brought artillery Sleipnir, and you're like, oh hey, we got 2 Molluses. F your Sleipnir. You just can't do anything with it now. That explains so much.
However, keep in mind, you can't script those damps, so you need to actually use a fair bit, and you need to juggle them relatively well to try and effectively manage even 1 or 2 ships on this grid. And so they're going to need to be very careful with those Molluses and how they execute them.
Very true, but I'm actually kind of curious now, just thinking about it. What's the non-bonused lock range of a Sleipnir, sorry? Because even like 10-20% could be enough to bring him well within the autocannon range of the other Sleipnirs.
You gonna make me open up Pytha?
I mean, I'm not going to open up mine. It hasn't been updated in 2 years. But yeah, this is a very slow, calm match. I'm quite liking this. I think things even died. So bravo. That's either well flown or poorly flown. It's hard to tell the difference sometimes.
Alright, you got damage on the Spectre Fleet Simi. It looks like that includes some Gila drones. Yep. So the Gila drones on the Simi, they're going to need to get those rep bots on him very quickly. That said, there's a lot of rep bots just kind of floating out in other parts of the arena.
Yeah, if they just like rush the Gilas in, drop the drones off, and then leave. I think actually they're shooting off the drones. Just double checking. Jackdaw. Yeah, I think they're actually just killing off all these drones.
Yeah, that's certainly a solid call. They need to make sure that Simi stays alive, otherwise they're in big trouble. That said, they're all stacking on the MJD beacon. It looks like they want to try and make a play.
I love when they do this. We both want to run away. What do? Run away more. That is kind of what's going on here. One team wants to be at range, the other team wants to be at a slightly closer range.
Well, now the Scimitar is just trying to gun it. I don't know where to, but he's trying to get there. And he's passing straight through the Gilas and the Sleipnir to do it, which is extremely spicy.
Finally goes down. They finally managed to bop the Maulus. Scimitar's bolting it, but the problem with these Gila drones is that you got to be running the entire time. And
yeah, generally speaking, with Gila drones, unless you are overheated prop, you are getting hit. Now the other Mollusk is getting hit real hard. And all of his shields go back up, and they all disappear again.
Yeah, I think the Scimitar's a bit distracted at the moment. No, wait, that's the wrong Scimitar. My bad.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. But it looks like they're trading those 2 Molluses for Simi, which is a damn good trade for them, as now they can just start grinding through everything else. But the Logi trade may not be done yet, as the Scimitar of Turbo is dropping hard.
Yep.
If they can get this Scimitar, then they're better off in this trade. 3 for 1, as they say.
This is now devolved.
But the Svipple is also going down, so this is pretty close. They've traded Logi. The core of Turbo is heavier, and so they have an advantage in the DPS race. And we'll see if that's how it ends up playing out.
This is kind of turned into a brawl match actually at the moment. I can see Nighthawk within range. The other Slep has been the Arty Slap's been tackled by the Auto Slep. Yeah, Auto Slep plus 3 Gilas versus Arty Slep and Nighthawk. They've got a massive DPS lead on this. They can just rip things to shreds. I mean, just watch the Gila versus the...
Yeah. Their only hope was that they were able to try and kite it out, stay out of range of those Gila Rapid Lights, and stay out of range of that autocannon Sleipnir. Looks like they haven't done that, and as a result, this match is going to be pretty doomed.
Yep. There she goes. There she blows. That's it. Yeah, that's the thing with Gilas that makes them really annoying. They can get ridiculously big tank for their role while also having absurd DPS. They're not the fastest thing around, but it doesn't matter. These drones will chase you to hell and back, and they'll keep hitting you. And your drones are tanky, and you're tanky, and you put out DPS. It's just, ECCP, please nerf them, please. I hate them so much.
It's a powerful combination, but it's usually ends up costing you in points, right? They got their 3 Gilas, but that meant they had a single command ship. That was the entire rest of their upper half of their comp. And the lower half was 2 T1 frigates. So they really spent everything they had on those Gilas. And it worked out for them here, but sometimes it's a difficult choice to make.
Worked. As you said, they cost so much points on Gila. And don't forget, for each extra 1, it goes up by an extra point, like for each ship. So the Gilas are what, 2-3 points extra per ship? So they got quite expensive there, but it doesn't matter because they're still that good. And with a single Sleipnir providing boost in DPS, I actually quite like this comp in terms of, like, I wouldn't say rush, but prolonged DPS, we'll say.
The healers were 14 points each.
Yeah, the closest thing comparison would you see, like, there were some kite-ish comps last time around that went much more focused on heavy missiles over rapid lights, where they were very focused on that sustained DPS. That ability to just kind of grind out targets at range, as opposed to trying to snap smaller ones or trying to do like quick volleys.
I'm sorry, I just could have tracked them. My green screen fell down.
That didn't take long.
Yeah. It's held up with duct tape, alright? Don't tell anyone, alright? This is a secret between us.
Yeah, nobody can hear us right now.
Exactly that. That Gila is
Perfect.
actually dying faster than I expected. Is he Michael Warp driving? No, he stopped. Oh, he's MJDing, that's why. Wait, is he actually MJDing to the next MJD beacon? Fair enough.
Well, the Nighthawk is, as it stands, currently untackled. Which means that the autocannon Sleipnir isn't doing a whole lot to him. So if he gets this one Gila down, the match is slightly interesting.
Well, the Gila did MJD away, but now he's burning... Where are you burning, sir?
And part of that, too, is the Sleipnir actually can't get on top of him, because there is a Hyena in support. And that Hyena can help out the Nighthawk as necessary in order to keep it mobile.
I'm just surprised that our Hyena is able to keep a Sleipnir and a Gila off of a Nighthawk. The Nighthawk is not a fast ship. It's quite a thick boy.
The Gilas don't seem to be chasing. The only ship that was chasing was the Sleipnir, which seems to have decided to go for something else. And that something else is the Jackdaw, I believe.
Gila does go down. Where is the Nighthawk?
Nighthawk's on the lower half of the grid. Then you've got Turbo kind of in the middle with their Gila and Sleipnir. Sleipnir's got webbed again. And the Gila is trying to chase down the Jackdaw, which is burning up and away as hard as he can to avoid those drones.
Sleipnir is also burning after the Jackdaw. Why is the Sleipnir burning after the Jackdaw? I would have thought you'd just go for the Nighthawk and just dunk it to the Stone Age with your autocannons.
Yeah, every time he's tried, he's been stiff-armed by the Hyena. The Hyena's doing a very good job of keeping him off the Nighthawk.
He wasn't trying. He was going after the Jackdaw.
Now, despite the fact that if you gave them enough time, Spectre Fleet could theoretically kite this out, it will probably be a loss for them, because unfortunately there's 2 ships left aside, and the match is almost over. And unfortunately, Slep plus Gila is going to outpoint a Nighthawk plus Hyena.
I suppose that's probably true, Rain?
32.
I suppose Rain might be right on that one, but I still would have thought they would have just...
40.
Also, the Hyena just died, so they are now definitely down on points. And as a result, unless the Sleipnir dies, the match is going to be a win for Turbo. If the Gila dies, it's a tie, which is fun.
Yeah, well,
but the match is over, and Turbo just barely managed to eke out a win there.
Yeah, I honestly would have thought they would have just like sent it for that Nighthawk. I mean, Gila plus Sleipnir would have just ripped through him, as shown by the other ones dying. So I guess they went for the was probably the smarter play than what I would have done. So fair enough to them. So yeah, Spectre Fleet. Is that Spectre Fleet? Hold on, let me just double check that before I say it. No, Turbofeed victory there. There we go. Almost got the wrong one. I apologize. Of course, the chat and local, and the chat in Twitch as well. I'm loving seeing some of the banter, some of the people suggesting stuff. So 2 more points per Gila at 6 points total, just to bring 3, not including base cost. Yeah. I'm a bit surprised by that, but to be fair, the Gila is a very strong ship. I think we had some talks about it before, and you can't even replace it with an Ishtar. It doesn't work.
Yeah, you say that. There were some shield comps last time around. Usually they didn't try and utilize Ishtars, but you can do some pretty crazy stuff with drones, depending on how you want to set up.
Yeah, but I mean, shield Ishtar, shield Gila, there's a mile between those.
You could also try something like a Cerberus.
And that, so, I mean, some of that, right? The last AT, the Orthrus was just so cheap that oftentimes you would see the Orthrus over the Cerb. But in a sustained kind of kiting comp, the Gila, Cerberus, and Orthrus are 3 ships that kind of get bounced between somewhat interchangeably. Obviously, they have different strengths and weaknesses, but they all have those heavy missiles. They all have, or the Gila has drones, which kind of compensate for the heavy missiles not being as good. And the damage between them isn't too drastically different. So you could kind of sub them in and out depending on bans and what you were trying to do.
I can tell you right now, the Orthrus is effectively worthless for that. If you're not bringing an Orthrus for your tackle, even your long-range tackle, you bring a Hyena for that. We did a few tests with it, and we originally had Orthruses, and we're like, this is just not worth. Just bring Gearless.
I was talking about mid-range DPS, not tackle.
Oh, yeah, Gearlet does that too. Rapid lights plus drones. It does more DPS, I'm pretty sure, by a mile.
It does a bit more,
check that one.
but the Orthrus was 3 points cheaper last time around.
Yeah,
so you can get a lot more out of a comp.
It's not now, though. That's what I mean. It's like Orthruses are, at least in my opinion, effectively worthless. Effectively. I mean, someone will prove me wrong and laugh at me, but that happens.
Yeah. Well, a lot of it was the Orthruses were specifically undercost in the last AT, which is why you saw Orthrus, Garmer, Barghest all the time. This time around, not the case, although I'm not an expert on the points totals. I haven't memorized them yet, so I can't tell you exactly what the difference is.
Bro, I barely know what day it is, let alone what the points costs are. It's just not going to happen, Chief. I'm just casually just using Python next. I want to be sure that I'm not entirely wrong. Right. Lack of tank is an issue. Exactly that. Lack of tank, and then honestly, the DPS for the Gearlet is better because it's more sustained and constant. And occasionally you can just say F logic and then do a wrecking shot and delete a friggin' in one shot, which is always fun in quotations. Alrighty, here we go. I just slapped the lazy spit together. Didn't do anything with it. Just quickly unheat this. This is also firing rage, yes. Alright, yes. So Orthrus with its missiles and no drones, because it's probably going to bring Logi drones, would be doing 507 DPS with Fury. Gearlet using Fury and a set of drones, because obviously it'd be using DPS drones, is doing 650, and that's both cold. So that's 150 more DPS, and of course half your DPS is not clip related, so it's constantly harrowing your enemies. So I mean, yeah, that enough, and I haven't even got the tank the fit set up here at the moment, but not even kidding, with an unfitted Gearlet versus this Orthrus with a damage control out the bits and pieces, the Orthrus is only equal to the Gearlet unfitted, which is hilarious to me. Let's put a damage control on. Hold on. I'm just mucking around at this point now.
Yeah, no, I mean, obviously the Gearlet has advantages, right? But it was more expensive. So in the last AT, you saw a lot of people take the Orthrus in because they could get a lot of utility out of it at the point cost it was at. And then those extra points let you fit in some heavier stuff on the top end, right? You could upgrade DNIs to Nighthawks. You could upgrade one of those Nighthawks to a Barghest. You could do some really interesting things. But in the kind of midline of the comp, you would see one of those three ships.
That is very true, Jason Bornick. That travel time between targets for drones can be a thing for sure. But also remember that Gearlet drones are pretty fast, and you do get the rapid lights as well. So I do agree, it can be a bit more annoying.
But
also, anyway, smart bombs. Smart bombs don't affect Gearlet drones. I'm sorry to tell you.
There's one
I've lost a set of drones.
In any case, we could probably get started taking a look at our next match. So we've got Wolves Amongst Strangers against Fancypants. Wolves Amongst Strangers have banned the Abaddon, Sleipnir, and Scorpion. Fancypants have gone for the bans of Eos, Balgorn, and Loki. So these bans are actually pretty scattered. Both sides have 3 bans that none of them really match each other, except maybe the Abaddon and Scorpion in terms of armor top end. But even then, it really is kind of all over the place.
And what were you about to say, Soft, or is it not important now?
You need to keep in mind, if you bring 3 healers, they are 14 points each. If you bring in 2 healers and an Orthrus, they are 13 points each, plus 12 for the Orthrus. So that's 4 points less for that comp, right?
Yep, I do agree there in that scenario. But I suspect the triple Gearlet comp is not going to become a staple. Dear God, I hope it doesn't become a staple. But I do agree there. It's if you're going to bring 2, you might consider bringing Gearlet Orthrus. But beyond that, if you have the choice of just bringing 1, it's going to be the Gearlet like 99% of the time, as far as I'm concerned. It provides so much.
Yeah, for this current tournament, the point values, most likely.
Ooh, this is going to be an interesting match. Oh, we've got Leshak.
Speaking of Wingnut's newest favorite comp, comps that have 3 Gilas, we've got 3 Gilas. But this time, instead of a Sleipnir at the top, they've got a Rattlesnake.
They got their big brother. Just you wait till Big Brother gets his hold on you. Triple Gila plus Rattlesnake. Welcome to the farming comp.
You've got a lot of drone damage, some additional missile damage there, but really they're just looking to sit tight and throw drones at things. The match has started, and so far they're sitting tight and dropping drones. Meanwhile, our opponents in an armor comp with a Leshak core are looking to get a bit closer so they can start throwing some damage at their opponents.
Interesting thought as well is that the other team brought a curse, thinking that okay, they've left the curse banned, so great, we can bring this. This comp doesn't care about the curse. I mean, sure, it might missile guidance disrupt them a little bit, but the wave of drones aren't going to care, and they can't, missile guidance disrupt all of these ships. So it's kind of like a perfect "I don't care about your ship" pick. And
Yeah,
Leshak is just screaming
drones
it,
are a
"Let's
great
go."
soft counter to that kind of control. That said, those 2 rattle heavy drones, if he gets his TDs on that, those drones can actually struggle to apply to a lot of smaller stuff on this grid.
Well,
And
Leshak is
they
sending it.
don't have a ton of application.
Come on, guys, all in the Leshak. He's going for you. All him in. Get him. Don't even bother with the curse. Just send it on the Leshak. He's charging for you. I believe.
All the
Yep, they
medium
are going for the Leshak.
Nagilas are coming back towards that Leshak. They're getting damage onto him. However, the rep bots are flying over, and that Leshak has an Aniros, so he's got a pretty solid amount of reps behind him.
I'm just looking at all the drones just moving. This is just chaos. Leshak is firing off smart bombs.
That Leshak, he's going to smart bomb his own rep bots off before he smart bombs any of that DPS. So he better be careful with that one.
I was thinking the exact same, man. It's like, oh, hey, look, he's got smart bombs. Shane was going to kill his drones first. He hasn't cycled them again yet, though, so maybe he's recognized and he got one cheeky cycle off on the DPS drones. Now, what's going on the other side? Looks like they're trying to start poking the Rattlesnake.
Yeah, Leshak is spooling on him. He figures he can get through those 2 scalpels, then maybe, but he is already at half armor, so he's going to have his work cut out for him there.
Well, he's holding very well. All things considered, he's holding quite well. I'm just checking where that's 1, 2, 3, 4. I feel like I'm missing a set of drones. Hold on. 1, 2. No, there he goes. Looks like one of the Gilas put his drones onto the curse. They're all putting on their drones on the curse. Look at that. All the Gila drones all at once snapped over to the curse. So apparently the curse is actually causing them some trouble, as they've all decided to flip onto it. Looks like scalpel's being hit too.
Even without a TD target, newts from the curse can decommission scalpels real fast, so they need to be very careful about that.
Oh, look at that! Look at that damage on that curse. He's getting low. I think the Oniris is going to start fully focusing him now. Try and hold his board up.
Once all those drones get on him, he's probably going to be doomed even with that Oniros.
Welcome to Gila drones, man. It's like, oh, hey, look, one wrecking shot. That's all it takes. It probably wasn't even a wrecking shot, to be honest. But yeah, there goes the curse.
That said, on the other side, they've got some damage pressure on one of the scalpels, but it's going to be a lot harder to get through those scalpels now that the newts from the curse are not helping out.
Yep. And look at the Oniris, actually. All the Gila drones now on the Oniris are going to start beating that down. Should have a self-rep, but that's going to be a surprising amount of quick damage on him.
Yeah, unfortunately, the Oniris is not as fast as a scimitar, so he can't really overheat his prop to get out of range.
All right, I think now they probably resend it either on the Leshak or maybe on some smaller ships. Let me just have a look. Where are they going? They're chasing what I think is the Draugr at the moment, right?
Yeah, I mean, you've got the Gila drones. It's going to be better off deal with some of that smaller damage, get that out of the way, and get your Rattlesnake to hold. Because killing that Leshak, even without reps, is going to take a really long time. But the Draugr, much quicker as we see, because it's already gone.
They're going for the Vex or they're going for the Leshak? Looks like they're going to go for the Leshak now. All right, they're going for the headshot now. I'm kind of surprised they could have gone for the Vex. The Vexes usually are full newt Vexa fits. They're very, well, obviously very well known, but they're quite well known for that. And there is a Vexa just chilling on grid with no guns on his on his ship. But I guess maybe they're worried about the Rattlesnake's about to break. Leshak's probably spooled up enough at this point.
So, new meta, Triple Gila. It's your new favorite thing.
Though to be fair, I mean, I'm looking at this. Oh, Rattlesnake's going for the MJD. He's trying to get out of there.
Yeah, apparently even the Vexer and Leshak newts on those scalpels. Oh wait, the scalpels died.
Is he going to get out? He does! Rattlesnake gets out of there. Well played. Well played. Rattlesnake managed the MJD in the hull, by the way. Gets himself out of trouble. Gila's going to start getting primary now, but the Leshak should start running out of tank soon. even if the Gila goes down, he should be in a position. I also think the Rattlesnake should have put his drones on him. I think he did. Just checking. Where are they? Berserkers. Yep, I believe he did. So, yeah, well played. Gila does go down, but Lashak is really approaching Hull right now.
Yeah.
Shaq is...
And one of the things you got to be careful about with the shield ships in general is if you can newt out those active hardeners, they drop pretty darn fast.
Yep, Shaq's only just started pulsing his smart bomb. He's got a few rep drones on him, but I don't think it really matters. That's not going to be that much rep.
There's much more DPS on him than those rep bots are doing anything about, so it's not a bad call at this point for sure.
Exactly, just pulse and hope that maybe you'll get rid of these drones, or at least force them to recall them. But I don't think these Gila parts are going to care.
Nope, this Lashak is about to drop, and it is gone.
He tried to MJD away, and all that did was make his signature the size of a small moon. Alright, so yeah, that leaves Dragoon and Vexor. So well played by this triple Gila Rattlesnake team. Oh, God. As for the person asking in chat, Jezeric, why did they not kill the Rattlesnake? The Rattlesnake actually MJD'd away from the Lashak right when he got into low shield. So the Rattlesnake pulled away, and there was no scram to stop him. So they tried. They tried desperately to kill that Rattlesnake, because if they did, they might have had a good chance, honestly. I mean, yes, Gilas do hurt, but the Lashak did kill one of them already. MJDs. Bravo. Alright, I'm back in a minute, guys. You can carry this, right?
Alright. Well,
Good,
this match is going to get cleaned up. Gila and a Rattle versus a Magus. This Magus ain't long for the world. As Wingnut goes and recollects his brain cells, puts them back in order. Definitely an interesting setup. This triple Gila, we've seen it twice now in definitely different formats. But the core concept of those medium drones being able to get out and deal with small to medium-sized targets definitely seems to be working very strongly. You can see it really that those three Gilas, they're looking for targets like the Curse, the Aniros. They're looking for those targets that they can easily apply to, but don't quite have the speed to get away from those drones. And once they can get the drones onto those targets are usually doomed.
I am back. I have, as you said, regained brain cells.
Yeah, put them back in order. It happens sometimes.
It's going to be hard to tell with Gilas. It's got some ideas in mind. I'm not sure if they'll work. We saw a version of a drone Kai comp last Anger Games where they literally jumped from beacon to beacon to beacon, so people couldn't catch their heavy drones on top. So we might see a revamp of that comp. They brought, I think it was EOS's and Ishtar's, and just used sentry drones and bounced every beacon.
Yeah, one of the...
Sorry?
Yeah, sure. So, implants, my understanding, pretty much the same for every tournament, is generally speaking, the rule is anything that ends in a 3 is fine. So, like a something 703 or a 603 or an 803, those implants are typically fine. Pirate implants are not allowed. Other fancy random things are not allowed. But the best general rule is that 3 for 3% implants is what people are looking for.
Also, mind links are banned in Anger Games, which are usually
mind links are
allowed.
also banned.
Thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful. All right then. And unfortunately, there are more Gilas inbound.
So, one thing I could say is in the last AT, one of the traditional counters you saw to drone comps was either very long projection lasers or something like a heavy missile kite, where the heavy missile kite or the laser comp, they out DPS the drone comp, and the drone comp couldn't really get out of range, so you could just run them down. And so that was typically what people would use if they thought that they were about to run into a drone comp.
But that definitely can work for sure. The only thing I worry about is the Gila drones are fast enough to keep up and keep hammering you. If they get the drones on, sorry, go ahead.
I can tell you, cleaning up the battlefield after such a healer comp is horrible.
Yeah, trying to quickly kill Gila drones. Yeah. when even arena cleaning Macarial is still suffering, you know Gilladrones have a lot of tank.
You have to upgrade to an arena cleaning paladin. Get more damage.
It will
The
still suffer.
Macarial is pretty good at it, but
Yeah, artillery, bro. One shot.
yeah, artillery doesn't fire as fast as ACs.
Really? Are you sure? Have you crunched the math on this? Can we confirm artilleries do not fire as fast as ACs? Shit, I could have sworn. I could have sworn it was the other way around. Damn it! Fuck.
I'm gonna need to call Kadesh Priestess. Pick up the phone.
Get this one confirmed, please. Right, so let's have a look at the bans while we're waiting for Soft to kill Gilladrones. What are we up to? Ramrod Relulded versus Snuffed Out. Both sides immediately banned Curse because F the Curse. I can agree with that sentiment. Ramrod Reloaded banned out Oracle, Zarm, Lashak. They banned out the most obvious Logi battle cruiser we've been seeing, the Zarm, because I guess they don't want to see that really strong Logi. And Lashak because I guess we just hate triangles today. Meanwhile, Snuffed Out have banned out Curse, Loki, Deacon, Paladin. So that's definitely been more of a spread ban. The Deacon is actually the big question mark. I guess, okay, sure. Maybe people can't bring Deacon and Thalia to reduce the cost. If you have to bring double Thalia.
Yeah, I mean, that's something. So especially, it's something you can do both in this tournament, take advantage of the points rule, right, and mess with their point values, which is always a good way of messing with an opposing team. It also means that if they do see Frigate Logi, it's going to be a certain sensors type. And so if they're running something like jams, they can tune their jams over to green as opposed to red, or not red, yellow, right? And those green jams will be much more effective.
Essentially, yeah. So there's always options.
Yeah. One of my favorite wildcard bans in the last tournament was the Skybreaker, because the Skybreaker was the lowest point cost ship in the tournament, pretty much. And so if somebody was filling out the bottom end of their comp with Skybreakers and you banned it, they often didn't have anything they could slot into those places. And so they needed to revamp their entire comp or pick a different one in order to fly in that match.
Yeah, definitely a giant finger in the eye moment for sure.
Wait 1 minute. One of them has to rewarp.
Who's the Griffin pilot? Hold on. I need to go name and shame. What do you expect? It's a Snuffed Out pilot. You're probably thinking you need to bring a sign or something. But it happens. Don't worry. Wait, what the hell? Wait, what?
While Snuffed Out is trying to figure out how to warp, I think we can switch over so people can at least see the ships.
Snuffed Out aren't used to the warp mechanics after all. The Sino is their main mode of transportation. That Griffin.
All right, we've got some drone-on-drone action here for you today. We've got Barghest and 2 Gilas with an Osprey Navy as well versus an armor-based drone comp with a couple of Ishtars, Eos, and Vexers to fill it out. So we'll see a lot of drones fly across the battlefield here. I suspect that the Snuffed Out comp will be the more aggressive of the two. They've also got some missile damage they want to apply, and so you'll likely see them try and burn in. Both sides have a Hyena, so they both have a fair bit of early tools in order to try and screen or try and tackle down targets for those drones. But those Hyenas are also super vulnerable to drones, so they might also be primary targets for them.
Yeah, and the other team brought obviously a Griffin that has a trouble warping in, but this is probably not the comp for a Griffin. I guess you can jam out drones, right? But I mean, if you're bringing a Griffin to jam out drones, you've got some severe problems with your composition. All right, timer starts, and there we go. Everyone's off, and we watch the wall of drones get dropped from both sides.
Yeah, Snuffed Out are burning in. Meanwhile, their opponents are burning out.
Yep, burning up.
That said, they haven't dropped drones yet, which I suspect they need to do at some point in order to do any damage. There we go. They're finally out.
Let's see what.
And some of the drones are starting to make their way over. They were likely slung at the Osprey Navy issue, which had briefly been ahead of everybody else, but is now running straight back and away. Meanwhile, the Gila drones are just about to arrive on their first target, which looks to be the Hyena.
Yep, looks like I can see all these Gila drones. Yep, they're on the Osprey Navy. So Osprey Navy's just going to have to burn his max speed as much as he can to try and waste time. Sveinblot in the Punisher just got a one shot from max shield to 0 shield. Thankfully, he's a Punisher, so it's not as scary as it could be.
Yeah, and now you see damage is switching over to that Oniros. Logi, always a great first target for comps that have a lot of damage based in drones.
Yeah, the Oniros has no support really. There's no Logi drones, it's just his own tank. And they know this, so they just got a bunch of Gila drones just sitting on him. He will break. He'll maybe break in a minute, 30 seconds, doesn't matter. He will break. And
yeah, especially this Barghest is rapid heavy fit as well, so he's got some damage that, provided there's a little bit of application, can do a lot of work on that Oniros. Although so far, he's holding up okay. Meanwhile, on the other side, you've got everything on the Barg.
Yep, exactly that. Everything's on the Barg. The Punisher is actually holding him down, so that's why Sveinblot got targeted for a while, because he is just sitting on this Barg holding him down. And the Barg is actually going low shield already. Where is the Scimitar reps? Am I missing? No, he is getting repped. It just doesn't
on
matter.
Grid. He was pretty far away, and he's pulling in now. So he might have been in fall off, which certainly wasn't helping. But even getting in range, it's looking spicy.
Oh, dude. I wonder if this Scimitar is... I don't think he's bait tanking him. I think he's just repping as hard as he can. But it looks like the almost quintessential perfection of bait tanking. Like, if you were bait tanking, this is how you do it. This is exactly how you do it. You bleed a tiny bits of armor here and there. I don't know. What do you guys think? You think the Barg is bait tanking, guys? You think the Barg is currently they're just repping as hard as they can? What do you guys think?
It's hard to say, especially because the Scimitar was out of range at the start, so I'm not quite sure if that was intentional. On the other side, we've got damage back on the Oniros again. He's still getting chipped, but it looks like they did manage to catch the Punisher, so the Barghest is now free to run back and away from those drones. Although it's a Barghest, so I don't know how far you're going to run. Now damage is onto the Hyena, and that Hyena going down would actually be a very big problem for them if they can't keep it up. That is pretty much all of their tackle and support application at this point.
Oh, is that Barg going to hold? Because now he's burning away. The Gila drones have to start catching up again now, so they're not going to get constant damage. This Barg might just hold.
Well, the other trick with the Barg, right, is a lot of the drones shooting him are heavies from those Ishtars, that EOS, and those heavies are going to be a bit slower. But unfortunately, they aren't armor ships, which means they can have drone navs and they can have things that help those drones keep up, and those drones appear to be doing just that for now.
Oh, the time it takes to kill this Barg, they're going to lose their Oniros for it.
It's tough to say if that's a good trade. Barghest does a lot of damage off grid, but the Oniros going down means they've got no reps, which means they are on a timer.
And this Barg is still holding. That is just, I just love it. Okay, there goes the Barg finally. But the problem now is, where is the rest of their opponents? I'll tell you, they're a good distance away.
Well, the most important question is, where is the Scimitar? Because if they don't kill that Scimitar very soon, they're going to struggle to win this match.
Well, that's the fun thing. The Scimitar has been tackled for a while. He's just sitting there under their entire comp.
Well, in that case, they've got a pretty good time, because once the Scimitar is down, it's just a DPS race, and with the Barghest down, they're going to have a good advantage there to start working off of.
Well, hopefully, the Scimitar will tank pretty well. I'm actually, with the amount of newts they got on him, I don't know why they're trying to kill him, to be honest. They could just leave him there and just put drone something else, but I guess just better safe than sorry. Because the Scimitar will tank quite well with his XLASB. He doesn't need capacity to do that.
Anything else is going to tank a lot better. Killing that Simi first, once your Logi is down, you really want to get that Logi trade out of the way, because if you're losing DPS ships and they're losing DPS ships, but they still have Logi, eventually you're not going to be able to break things, and that's when life gets real hard.
Oh, for sure, but here's the thing. That Scimitar has been neutered out by their entire comp, constantly. So they could just send their massive drone cloud on something else, and just leave the Scimitar there permanently neutered. Because they don't need to be a nearby target. But yeah, he goes down.
Scimitar's dead, and now they get to go onto a Gila, while their EOS rather is at about half armor, but he's not dropping very fast, so they've got a fair bit of time to work with here.
Oh, so g'day, Bay. How you doing, mate? But yeah, Gila of Infinite X is now in a race against December. EOS versus Gila, but this Gila should not take that long to kill with so many drones on him.
And he's tackled down. They're able to get newts on him, so any hardeners are probably off. Typically in a Gila, at best you've got like a small cap booster, which really isn't helping you against newts. And it looks like our armored drone comp will be able to pull ahead in the DPS race here.
Well, here's the thing now. Here's the one problem. They'll be able to kill the hyena next. But you notice how the next Gila and Osprey Navy have scattered. As far as they can go. They left their drones on a target and they've run for their lives.
Yeah, unfortunately, this hyena is going to take a little while because they've chucked a bunch of heavy drones at it, and heavy drones don't really catch hyenas very well.
Heavies
That
and
said,
mediums.
it looks like it won't matter too much.
Bonk.
They finally
One
get him with
shot.
the mediums.
That was literally a single hit on a hyena going like 4K. Welcome to drones. They're disgusting.
Well, that's one of the advantages of an armor comp, right? And the limitation with shields sometimes is you don't really have a lot of tools to get those drones to go faster. But with an armor comp, you can get drone nabs in those mids, and some of those drones can really zoom across the map to deal with whatever you need to deal with.
I'm just now watching like this Benny Hill theme start up as the Vex is chasing down a Gila. He will get him, I think, because of all the drones on him.
Yeah, it looks like they've split damage at this point. Got some drones chasing both ships, which isn't ideal, but at the end of the day, they've got an advantage and is unlikely to matter.
I'm proud of my boys. Ramrod's my boys. Yeah. So, Ghost 662. At the moment, that does not work, so we're just leaving it there just to make it look a bit better. Ah, well.
And
so yeah,
you know
what you see the
which
bottom.
teams are fighting.
Yeah, that's what that's mostly there for. Fortunately, it does not work at the moment. So we look at the very top of the screen. That's the ship's actually fighting right now.
Just close your eyes and pretend.
Remember, this is the open, so this is mostly a testing phase as well to make sure everything is functioning correctly. So the bugs are expected. Bloody green screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully by next week, Wingnut will have sourced himself some extra strong duct tape.
There's such a thing.
Maybe even a stapler. Who knows?
Oh god. I don't think that would work. Also, where did the EOS get? I guess he's just been passively regenerating shield. I swear that just like.
Well, they switched damage to They switched damage to the Vexor because the EOS just wasn't dying. Yep. So the Vexor's got some damage on him now. That said, the Osprey Navy issues out of shields. Not long for this world, and the Gila's got to have shields too, so he ain't looking much better.
Drones are reasonably easy to jam. Yes, they are easy to jam, but the only problem for them, of course, is they were versing a lot of drones. So you can jam like 2, 3, maybe even 4, but you can't jam the entire horde. But yeah, looks like my team Ramrod have got this one. Hell yeah, boys!
Well, at least they didn't go 0-2 on the day. Not
hey,
too bad.
Hey. You're impeaching our record here, mate. We do 0-2 almost every day. I'm kidding.
Feels bad.
Yeah. Feels great, mate. We're the best team around. We're consistent. Snuffed Out got snuffed out, yeah. I'm also glad that the Gila comp lost. Very happy to see the armor drone beat shield drone. It looks like the Gila of Mick Cracker.
You see, the problem was they only had 2 Gilas. They'd had 3 Gilas. Meta.
Alright, so Mick Cricket is now, he's going to do that at the arena, so that is the match. So yeah, Ramrod Relulded survived and win.
GF's in local, and we're on to our last match of the day, I believe.
Yep, and Soth is now begging them to please recall your drones before you warp out, please. They're killing Gila drones for eternity. Beautiful. Sorry, I just had people pinging me. To you people. Is only needed 2 comps to Mass's team. Is that correct?
Yes, it is. That's a running joke from last tournament where they basically ran the entire thing with 2 comps, a slight variation.
Nice. All right, so we have them versus Soth. What's this team name again?
Magnetschienengeschütz.
Yeah, Magnet Assholes. That's their team.
German railgun team.
Yep. So the Magnet Assholes have banned out Lashak, Balgorn, Gila, so they banned out heavy ships. The Balgorn ban I'm still not the biggest, overwhelming fan of, but at least I get it. And only need 2 comps have banned out Vargas, Abaddon, and Blackbird. Let me just check. The exact same bans as last time, so they only need 2 comps and 1 set of bans. Pretty consistent, I'd say.
Consistency is key.
Indeed. German speak, best speak. 9.
Okay, why are the Valkyries and Infiltrators 200 kilometers away?
Because they were chasing the guy who MJD at the arena. I think they're being recalled right now to help you out. Yeah, they're being recalled. Radakos is being a bro. Two comps, 1 ban. A+ to you, so that's perfect. I like that. Better ingredients, better bits. Thank you to everyone in chat as well, also the guys who came for these opens. It's been absolutely great. It's been some great banter going on. Good laughs. There's now a link in the Discord now of me just losing my shit from that. That, what would you call it? Meme? Joke? Bit of stupidity earlier?
Right, I think we can switch over.
Alright, for our last match today, we're back to some armor control. And this time we're looking at some pretty similar comps lined up here. A little bit of variation in the midline, where on one side we've got 2 Sacrileges, the other side we've got a Geddon and an Aug Navy. But we've got a Mega Navy and a Vindy on the top side. And then we've got a couple Command Destroyers with a single Cruiser Logi to back it up for each side.
That Mega Navy's now regretting every life decision he's ever had. There's a Vindicator and an Armageddon sitting right in front of him. He's regretting being born. He's regretting what he ate for breakfast. He's regretting the color of his hair. Just nothing but regret. And I love it. Blaster battleships all the way. In fact, the Vindy Armageddon combo is my favorite combo of all time because I've used it. It's great. All right, 15 seconds till the kickoff. Actually, 5 seconds to the kickoff. Time to watch a Megathron Navy get removed.
I wouldn't be so sure. He's got some good logic to back him up. And it looks like they're actually going to try and bypass the Mega Navy to start and go after something else. But the Mega Navy has the Geddon hard tackled and is starting damage on him, so that Geddon isn't going anywhere.
Why did the Vindy charge into the Sacrileges, the things that are really tanky and annoying to kill?
The Vindy is held down by the Sacrileges, but the Aug Navy is going through if he wants to.
Actually, that's true, Atori. That Mega Navy's probably holding. That's actually very true. Yeah, so the problem is that Vindy ran in, great, but now what? I'm not seeing him do much. He's trying to shoot the Sacs. Problem is, the Sacs are incredibly well tanked. They're really
they started on one of the Sacrileges, but against an Oniros, that's going to be pretty difficult. Maybe they think that they can get through with some of the Geddon Newts, but unless those Geddon Newts can get onto the Oniros, which right now the Geddon's hard tackled, it might be difficult. That said, The sacrilege
Can he
is
break it?
dropping pretty hard, which means he might have some active tank modules that are no longer working. Meanwhile,
Can he
a
hold?
bomber is about to go down to some additional DPS somewhere off to the side here, as it is run down by a Tyrannus.
Yeah, they are slowly chunking through this sacrilege. Tyrannus goes pop as well. Wait, did he just switch? Did the ADC? No. Guess he just decided to switch because it was a good time to switch. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's a good chunk of damage down for our blue side here, and
All right, Exanus
unless
just
they
ADC.
can break through this Geddon or snap this Og Navy, they are going to be in trouble.
Yeah, so Exanus just ADC, so he is running out of tank now. See if the Vindicator can kill him. And I always expected the Armageddon to be, like, he dropped reasonably fast, but now he's holding quite well. I see Hornet ECs onto the Geddon as well, so knowing if that was me, he'd be perma-jammed. Sacrilege just go down. Second sack is now being primaried, so the Vindicator did rush into the 2 tackle ships, but is actually trying to just beat them all away.
Yeah, turns out you can just smash your head on a brick wall, and sometimes it works.
Yeah, like, not just that, you can walk over to said brick wall and then smash your head into it, because that's the thing, he didn't have to do this, but he did, and he won it. So, I mean...
Well, it's an interesting choice too, right? Because the Mega Navy had a tough choice. He either tackles the Geddon or he tackles the Vindy. The Vindy is damage he can keep off of everybody else. The Geddon are newts he wants to keep off his Logi. He went for the Geddon, but it turns out the damage getting onto those sacrileges might have been the bigger issue.
And the problem with that also is the Geddon is the worst one to do for that, because the Geddon has extended range nukes. And the fight with the Vindicator and the 2 sacks was actually not too far away, so the, what's his name? The Logi had to burn in close enough to be able to rep the sacks, which is just enough for the Geddon to start pressuring him. Now, he's obviously not going to be in optimal range for nukes, but it's enough to actually hurt him. So I think this Geddon was actually a really, really good pick here. And I'm not sure about going after the Mega Navy. I guess, yeah, Mega Navy's probably massive hull tank, right?
If you're not worried about kiting comps, the Geddon in particular can be a very powerful control ship because it's super hard to manage in closer ranges.
Honestly, even at range it is, because again, it has extended range nukes, so unless you're kiting it beyond 70k, it can still hold you. And it can MJD too, to then get that nukes back onto you again. So the Geddon is honestly better than the Baal, in my opinion, for that role, because it's just, the range is really painful. I love the Geddon. Geddon's one of my favorite ships to fly because it's just disgusting.
Unfortunately, for all the uniqueness of bringing a Mega Navy, it does not matter, as that and the Anaris are both dropping, and it looks like this will be a clean 7-0 from the side of 2 comps.
Yeah, the Geddon managed to hold this entire time. Bravo to the Logi, the Rodiva of, what's his name? Of the Baron. Well done to him. Like, he had to rep up multiple targets there and was doing quite well with it. So bravo to the Baron. But unfortunately, the Mega Navy, the whole tank is great, but it's not enough. Honestly, it could have been fun, actually. Obviously, you don't know if they're not going to tackle you or someone else, but imagine if that was a polarized Mega Navy. Because they would have gone, oh, it's whole tank, don't fight it. And then he just starts killing you. Obviously, he's not going to do that. That's ridiculous. It's a silly idea, but I just love the idea of it. And the fun thing for me is I've pulled that back in the old 5v5s. We had a polarized Vindy and a Geddon, which is why I love this comp. And no one shot the Vindy. I don't know why. It's the only DPS we had, and it was bloody polarized. Ah, good memories. That makes me grin so much. Hey, something died, not a sweep. Haha, honorable kill. And there goes the Meg Navy. That leaves them with just the Vengeance somewhere. Not a sweep. Not put away the bruises in a clean sweep. Thank you for all the fun in chat, guys. You guys are absolutely awesome. But yeah, that's, I believe, our last match for the day, correct?
It is.
It is indeed. Well, thank you so much for everyone watching. Hope you've all enjoyed. I'm going to leave it to these guys now. They can say the goodbyes.
Well, definitely thank you to all the teams that participated. we definitely found a ton of issues we need to work on. So we will be back with you next week on Sunday again at 1900 here on INN with some more open practices.
Yep, absolutely. Thank you, everyone, and we will see you later.
Later, nerds!
Have a good one.